Annyeong, or should I say, good day learners. Welcome to another day of dressmaking and tailoring lesson. I am Teacher Rihanna and you are watching DepEd MP TV. Oops! Before we start, make sure you have your pen, your paper, and your self-learning module. Today, we will learn about sewing tools and equipment and their uses. Our target learning competency in this lesson is to identify sewing tools and equipment and their uses. So in this lesson, you are expected to first, identify sewing tools and equipment. Second, describe the uses or function of each tool. Third, draw the different sewing tools and equipment. Before we will discuss the lesson, let's find out what you already know about this topic. On this activity, read and understand each question, then choose the letter of the best answer. Write your answer in your answer sheet.
Number 1. What tool is intended for cutting off or ripping out stitches from seam? Letter A. Buttonhole scissors. Letter B. Embroidery scissors. Letter C. Rotary cutter and mat. And letter D. Seam ripper. Number 2. Which of the following is not a type of shears? Letter A. Cutting shears. Letter B. Pinking shears. Letter C. Scalloping shears. Or letter D. Zigzag shears. Number 3. What marking tool is essential as a marker for use on materials? Letter A. Pencil. Letter B. Tailor's chalk. Letter C. Tracing wheel. Or letter D. Wax chalk. Number 4. What tool has rated edge wheel and smooth edge wheel? Letter A. Marking pen. Letter B. Pencil. Letter C. Tracing wheel. And letter D. Shears. Number 5. What tool is used in constructing lines in pattern drafting? Letter A. Gouge. Letter B. Hip curve. Letter C. L-square. And letter D. Yardstick. Please continue answering items 6 to 15.
Let's check your answers. You can see now the answers for items 1 to 15.
How was your score? If you got 15, well done. If you got 10 or 5, it's a good try. No worries, you still have a chance for the next activity. Here's another interesting activity called brainstorming. This activity helps you activate your prior knowledge about our topic.
On your screen, you can see 2 essay questions. Read and understand these questions and answer it on your answer sheets. For the first question, what do you think are the importance of dressmaking or tailoring? And for the second question, what is the difference between a dressmaker and a tailor? Let's try to check your answers. What can you see now are some of the possible answers for the 2 essay questions. Hey, you made it to the next activity.
Oh, I think you're getting energized. So let's have again this activity. This is a word search puzzle. A word search puzzle is composed of squares with letters in which the main goal of the players is to form a words by connecting the letters. Before we will have the discussion, let's try to know what are the different sewing tools and equipment by finding first their names in the puzzle. Note, words go left, right, up, down, and diagonal.
Let's see if you got it right. On your screen, you can find the words in the puzzle. If you found 10, awesome. If you found 5 or 3, not bad. Don't worry, I know you can do better for our next activities.
Wow, you did a great job. So sit back, listen, and relax as we discuss our lesson. Okay, let's define sewing. Sewing is the craft of fastening or attaching objects using stitches made with needle and thread. And sewing tools are instruments that aid in accomplishing a sewing task. These are those which don't require the use of electricity. These are used manually by our hands. While sewing equipment is needed in sewing, which aid in construction of garments of good quality and appearance. These are those which require the use of electricity, such as the sewing machine. Lastly, sewing kit. It is a small package containing items such as threads, pins, needles, and other materials that you need to sew something. We also have the different classifications of sewing tools and materials: measuring tools, cutting tools, marking tools, pinning tools. Measuring tools are instruments used for obtaining quantities, dimension, or forces of real-world objects.
Number 1. Tape measure. It is also known as tape line. It is made of non-stretchable strip used in taking body measurements. It measures 150 centimeters in front side and 60 inches on the other side. Number 2. Sewing gauge. It is a small ruler with sliding guide and is about 6 inches long, used to measure small hem areas in short distances like hem folds, pleats, seam allowance, buttonholes, and tucks. Number 3. Ruler. This is the most common measuring device, usually 12 inches long. It is used for general markings. It aids in connecting lines. Number 4. Yardstick. It is used for general marking and for measuring fabric grain line when laying out the pattern. This is 1 meter long wooden stick and is used to measure fabric length by yard or by meter. Number 5. L-square. It is called as the tailor's square, which is one of the most basic of the pattern making. It is an aluminum ruler with 90 degrees angle. It has 2 arms connected perpendicularly and used to draw or make construction lines in pattern drafting. Number 6. French curve. It is an instrument made of flat metal, plastic, or wood, used to shape the depth of the neck hole, armholes, and the collar.
Moving on, cutting tools are cutting implement tools for cutting. These are instruments that serves well if properly maintained. They should not be used for other household tasks. They must be sharpened regularly and the joints are oiled occasionally for better use. In other words, they should be kept in good working order for periodic sharpening. Take note, sharp cutting tools make clean cuts and well-defined notches and they do not damage the fabric. On the other hand, dull tools slow the cutting process and make your hands and wrists tire easily.
Number 1. Bent handle dressmaker's shears. These are made of quality steel and hold a sharp cutting edge. The blades move easily and cut smoothly along the entire length, and the points should come together. Shears have the length of 7 to 12 inches and are satisfactory for most apparel fabrics. Pinking shears. This is popular in zigzagging or scalloped edge for seam finishes. This is used to finish seams and raw edges and to create decorative edges on many types of fabrics. It cuts a ravel-resistant edge. This is not satisfactory for straight cutting. Number 3. Cutting scissors. We have 3 classifications of cutting scissors. We have the first one, which is the trimming scissor. It is 3 to 4 inches long. It is used for trimmings, clipping threads, and snipping slashes. And the second one, embroidery scissor. It has 4 to 5 inches finely tapered blades. Both points are sharp, used for working with fine details in delicate fabrics and in embroidery work. And the last one, which is the buttonhole scissor. This is intended for making buttonhole. Number 4. Thread clipper. Thread clippers are handy little spring-loaded cutting tool that allows for the snipping of threads. These are clippers specifically used to snip threads and they are not designed to cut fabric. Number 5. Seam ripper. Seam reapers are specifically designed for ripping out stitches from seams, either as a result of an error or during alterations. They should be used carefully to prevent damage to the fabric. Number 6. Rotary cutter and mat. It is an adaptation of giant rotary cutter used by the garment industry. It works like a pizza cutter and can be used by left or right-handed sewers. The rotary cutter is available in different sizes with different blades. When using a rotary cutter, work on a cutting mat to protect the blade and the cutting surface.
Now let's try to see what are these marking tools. Marking tools are required for transferring pattern markings to garment fabric pieces and for making alterations on garments.
Number 1. Chalk pencils or dressmaker's pencil. This is available in white or pastel shades. This is used to make fine lines in fabric. It has an erasing brush at one end. Number 2. Liquid marking pen. It comes in two types, the one that washes out and it should not be used on fabric that show watermarks. Another one is that fades after 48 hours. The marks should be removed before pressing the fabric. Number 3. Tailor's chalk. This is essential as a marker for use on materials. It is available in a variety of colors and is used to mark the fabric. It is made of hard chalk and can be removed by brushing. Number 4. Wax chalk. This is available in black or white and is used for woolen fabrics. Wax can be removed by pressing. Number 5. Tracing wheel. There are two types of tracing wheels, those with serrated edge and those with smooth edge. The serrated edge wheel produces dots on the fabric and is suitable for most types of fabrics. The smooth edge wheel is better for delicate fabric and unlike the serrated edge will not pierce more delicate fabric. The smooth edge wheel creates a solid line. Number 6. Dressmaker's carbon paper, or also called as the dressmaker's tracing paper. It is a special waxed carbon paper that transfers the tracing wheel's markings to the fabric. A color of tracing paper should be chosen that is close to the color of the fabric. Different brands of tracing paper have different instructions. Therefore, the instructions for the particular brand that is purchased should be followed.
What about these pinning tools? Pinning tools are devices used to fasten or designed to pierce on the fabric or any materials, or to join two or more garment parts temporarily while doing sewing operation.
Number 1. Pin cushion. It is a cushion available in different shapes and colors used to hold pins and needles to prevent them from accident and scattering in the workplace. Number 2. Hand needle. These are available in different sizes and used for temporary stitches, hemming, and other sewing purposes. Sizes are available 7 to 10 cm. Number 3. Sewing needle threader. This is a diamond-shaped wire attached to a handle and a wire used to insert thread through the needle eye. It consists of two parts, the handle and the wire. Number 4. Thimble. This is a small cap placed on the tip of the middle finger to protect it from being pricked by the needle while sewing. It is made of metal or plastic.
And we have these different materials used in sewing. Number 1. We have the fabric. It is the cloth used in making garments. The plain cotton fabrics, flour sack, or kacha is the most appropriate materials for beginners because they are very easy to handle. Number 2. Threads. It is used in assembling or constructing the parts of the garment. These vary in sizes and colors. Heavy fabrics need strong threads. Threads should have the same color with that of the fabric used.
Oh, that must be a great information to us, right? Wait, there is more because we will be doing some exercises. Are you excited? But let us once again remember that knowing these different tools and equipments and sewing and their uses is very much helpful to us in our daily life. Now that you already know the different types of sewing tools and equipment, let's have a celebration of learning by answering this activity.
Directions. Identify these pictures. Name the classification of each tool and write its function or use. Copy the table given in your answer sheet. On the first column, you have there the name of the tools or equipment. In the second column, the classification of tools or the equipment. And for the third column, you have there the function or use. Now, let's try to have this example. What can you see on this picture? Very good. These are threads. And what is the classification of this tool? Very good. Pinning and sewing tool. What about its function? Very good. It is used in assembling or constructing the parts of the garments. Okay, it's your turn.
What can you see now are the correct answers for our activity. Congratulations! You can move on to our next activity. Here is another stimulating activity for you. In your answer sheet for letter A, identify the word or words that best describes the following statements, and for letter B, complete the following statements by supplying the correct word. Let's check your answers. What can you see now are the correct answers for our activity.
You are close towards the end of this module, but wait! Here is another challenging task for you. Show that you already learned something after learning the tools and equipment and sewing by doing this task. All you have to do is to draw and label the following tools in your answer sheet. Your output will be rated using the given rubrics. This scoring rubric serves as your guide. You can have 30 points if all tools were properly drawn and labeled correctly. 20 points if almost all of the tools were properly drawn and labeled correctly. 10 points if some of the items were properly drawn and labeled correctly. And 5 points if most of the items were improperly drawn and labeled incorrectly. Congratulations! You can move on to our next activity.
Show that you have learned something after learning the tools and equipment and sewing by doing this activity. Answer the following questions. Choose the letter of the best answer. Write your answers on your answer sheet. Number 1. What tool is made of non-stretchable strip used in taking body measurements? Letter A, ruler. Letter B, sewing gauge. Letter C, tape measure. And letter D, yardstick. Number 2. Which of the following measuring tool is used for general marking and for measuring fabric grain line when laying out pattern? Letter A, chalk pencil. Letter B, liquid marking pen. Letter C, tape line. Or letter D, yardstick. Number 3. What tool is intended for cutting off or ripping out stitches from seam? Letter A, buttonhole scissors. Letter B, embroidery scissors. Letter C, rotary cutter and butt. Or letter D, seam ripper. Let's check your answers. So here are the answers for our activity. How was your score? If you got a high score, well and good. But if not, worry less. You can have a chance by doing the additional activity.
Congratulations, learners, for completing this module. I hope you enjoy and understand our lesson. But if not, don't worry, you can go over again on the modules. I know you can do it, okay? Once again, I am Ronabel Lapasen of Potigi National High School, Paracelis South District. See you again in our next video lesson.